What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content daily. We also stream on this channel here Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sunday mornings US time, so come by and say hello. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to share with you is a consistent conversation that I've been having here on the live streams, as well as in Discord and just private conversations with some of the other players here. And it's essentially the fact that many people are coming around to the idea that Splinterlands is no longer really an investment, but just a game that we enjoy. And what I've seen, and again, in these conversations, a lot of this is anecdotal, right? And I'm not trying to say this from an absolute standpoint. At the end of the day, obviously, there's still people investing in Splinterlands, and if you look at the tokens and the potential opportunities there, if you're brand new and coming to the game, or you have brand new capital that's coming to the game, even if it's your own and you've been playing for a while, yeah, I mean, you look at something like DEC, and it's just like, okay, for 3 months, who wouldn't want to get a 200% APR? With the chance, with very minimal losses now that DEC has come down much closer to its peg. Or you look at SPS, or you look at vouchers, and you say, okay, I'm gonna jump in and try to maybe flip those, or get in while things are low because there's potential price appreciation and different types of utility that are coming in. But the thing that sticks out to me mainly over the past couple of weeks is the fact that a lot of the conversations that I've had have shifted to people who are no longer interested in this as an investment and are actually treating it as a game, which is cool. This is exactly what we need. Now, I look back at what happened last year, and with all of the opportunity that this game had flowing during a bull run, right? Not to say the least. Like, Bitcoin was hitting new all-time highs. Play to earn and metaverse stuff was just going absolutely crazy. And with the, again, I call it a mistake, and the team has said that it was a mistake of pegging DEC to the airdrop points 1-to-1. Like, that just ballooned and created this gigantic bubble, essentially, which was ultimately going to pop. Now, when we popped, and I'm saying that we're still like in the popping phase, but we are significantly higher in terms of player base. We are significantly higher in terms of the amount of actual people, not bots, although bots will still count to a certain extent, because bots in the future, hopefully once ranked rewards come out, will be a contributing member of society and the economy if they are required to buy and rent cards. So, whatever the case is, there are more people now. It's just like the wave came in, and as it's washing out, it's leaving more sand on the shore. Right? Sorry, I'm terrible with these analogies or metaphors, but that's the best I got for you right now. It just came to mind. And the thing about that is it's making, it's washing out. So let's go back to the metaphor. It's washing out a lot of the people who came in for the crazy gains. It's washing out a lot of people who are really just in this for the money. And there's no judgment here, right? There's no judgment here because, again, this is supposed to be a decentralized platform, so people can interact with Splinterlands in any way that they want, right? And I say Splinterlands rather than game, or I guess I could call it a project, but it's going to be an economy, and it is an economy that people can interact with however they want, and that is the team's intention, right? Their whole goal is to move this to be as decentralized as possible of a project. So I view this as a fantastic time. Obviously, it's difficult, especially if you came in during the hype and mania. I came in, I would say, during the hype and mania, probably a little bit before. But then once we hit the hype and mania, I mean, I was all in. I was putting so much more into this. Obviously, started creating content on it, and it just became something that slowly has been deflating since the end of October last year. Now, in that time, many people who came in when SPS was, close to $1 or DEC was over a penny, they came in with dreams of these doing 10x's from that point. And obviously, we have done 90% decreases in many ways. And so people who are just interested in this for the money have obviously gotten disillusioned with things, or disappointed, or discouraged. And I get it. I'm empathetic to that. I get it, because there was a lot of hype, but I don't think any of us, myself included, really understood what was going on behind the scenes of this economy. I mean, I knew that DEC was going to go back to its peg, but I didn't realize the full scope of where the team was at, what they were planning, and how they viewed this massive run up in price. Like I viewed, for example, like the DEC run up in price as this happy accident, right? This happy accident where the team discovered, wait, okay, if we can find a way to sustainably and reliably increase the price of DEC over time so that it scales up with the player base appropriately, then we'll have a game that could give out, tons of rewards. And I even made videos on this over the past couple of months. But the team viewed this from a completely different, or through a completely different lens. For them, it was all about, ooh, like we shouldn't have done that. It's shaking up the economy, and we don't want to really touch anything major until after the airdrop is over and things settle down. And so, and on top of that, it's just like they didn't view DEC being up as a happy accident. They viewed it as, let's never do that again, right? So it's completely different from that perspective. So as we've been going along now, and I will admit that the last couple of months have been really tough. There has been no major development since January with Chaos Legion. And I know the update that just came out that should hopefully reduce win trading is good. I don't know that really solves the bot win trading problem, but in terms of like major things that have happened to the game, I can't name anything because I don't view Waka as a major update to the game. I view Waka as this, it was this cool offering that happened, and it was only for a select few people. And even the select few people that got in on it or that were interested didn't end up buying it because I don't even know how many Wakas they ended up burning. But there's, well, we don't need to check it right now. But that interest, was for a select few who could afford it. It wasn't this overhaul to the game, and not even major overhaul. It wasn't like any kind of update. So we've all been playing in this game for literally 1/3 of the year with nothing, no major changes, no major updates, no major developments. And I get it. I'm not trying to be critical in the sense that like the team is doing nothing. We obviously know that the team is working hard on this, and we know that the team has been scaling up. But I'm talking about from a player's perspective. This was an incredibly difficult time. Chaos Legion launches and the meta changes. Everybody gets super excited about it, and it's just like meh. Right. One thing I do want to call out is I suppose Weirdbeard has made tournaments much more accessible. So that is something that I talked about in a previous video as well. So I'm not trying to be overly critical here, guys. I'm just saying for the player base as a whole, and really from a macro perspective, not much has changed, and things have gotten stale, and things, there's a lot of hype for what is to come, but as we've seen, everything keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed and delayed. So the frustration is real. Everybody is, everybody's just kind of waiting to see what happens next. And when we can see those things actually implemented, because they do sound interesting, right? The ranked rewards update is going to be huge. Modern and Wild are going to be huge. But, Modern and Wild, I've been waiting for now 6 months at this point, right? Like I thought we were going to get that in December, and it doesn't seem like we're going to get it until June at the earliest. So just something, something to think about. Now, taking this back to where I started with the video, it's been a difficult time for players, but that's what makes me bullish on the game in the sense that a lot of the people who were viewing this as an investment, myself included, are no longer doing that. A lot of people are just looking at this and saying, it's a fun game. I enjoy playing it. The community's cool. And, I'm slowly going to be leveling up my cards and trying to play at higher leagues and just earn more from it. I'm not looking at it as this crazy, massive ROI type of investment anymore. Sure, in the long run, I'm cool with that and I'm willing to wait. But like, as I've been saying, I don't see any kind of 10Xs happening anytime soon. So, from an investment standpoint, I think many people are not really viewing it in that way, which is difficult because we need money to come into the space. But I've always said, and I will maintain this for, the foreseeable future, unless something major changes, we need the right money to come into the space. And when I say the right money, it needs to come from the right interests. It cannot just be investors, because investors will always be looking for an exit. It has to be players. It has to be players who come in and, again, not in a Ponzi scheme-ish way, but players who come in who don't mind spending money on something that they are entertained by. right? Like you look at something like if you call this a Ponzi scheme, for example, like anybody who's out here calling this a Ponzi scheme, saying that, oh well, you need more money to come in, and therefore you need to dupe other people to come in to raise the asset values, to raise the prices. If you're looking at it from that lens, I think that you've gotten everything completely wrong. Look at how much money is spent in Web 2 gaming that is not going to be returned to the players at all. That just goes to the that just goes to the company and the bottom line. I mean, again, I had a lot of experience playing Fortnite. I suck at it, but I got deep into the community there, and I stream it over on Twitch. But it ended up being something where I just realized, like, okay, like people are spending thousands of dollars a year on these cosmetic items that they can't keep, right? They don't own, but they do it because there's this sense of enjoyment. There's this sense of like satisfaction that they own these things, own in quotation marks, in their accounts, right? And so that's the type of money that you need to come into this game. That's where things get really, really solid in the long run, because people view this as a game that they want to play for entertainment and fun, and they are willing to spend their discretionary income leveling up their cards and building a deck, right? So when it comes to if you've played card games in the past, I was a Magic the Gathering player once upon a time. I was never buying Magic the Gathering cards because I was hoping that they would appreciate in value in the future, right? I was buying them because I wanted to play with them, and I wanted to play against friends. I wanted to play. I mean, I never played in tournaments or any type of like pro thing, but it was because I enjoyed it. And that is the type of attitude that we need to come into Splinterlands. Now, is the game at a place where it can support and sustain that type of interest and scaling up? I don't know. I mean, we're getting there. I think Modern and Wild is going to be a big part. I think on the back end, like the stuff that we can't see, right, and what Matt has talked about, where if the player base scales up another 10x, can we handle it? That's what they've been focusing on, right? If now we go from, I know we're at 400,000 accounts, but I still maintain that a lot of those are bots. So if we're at 40,000, 50,000 players, I mean, even at 100,000 players, now if the team is ready for the interest from players, not investors, but players to come in, and we hit 500,000 or 1 million, like real players that are spending money in the game, then that to me is where the importance lies. That's where the beauty of this whole thing really comes together. So I'm excited. I'm bullish. This general sentiment around the, at least my community. So the atmosphere that I'm in, the environment that I'm in within this game has really been about that. And that to me is one of the most bullish things, because I've seen people fall away from the game. Even for myself, like there were times that I was renting out cards, but at the end of the day, I still own all these assets. I'm still getting something from them. I'm still earning, and I can still come in and like play one game at a time. And even though I'm winning 5 DEC, that could buy me another card that could level me up in the long run, right? All this stuff compounds over time. So I'm excited about this. I feel like the general sentiment is changing. Many people, again, like including myself, do not view this as an investment. I have not been putting like massive amounts of outside capital into this. I've been diversifying within the game. Like for example, I mean, I've been selling vouchers a ton, and most of the time with vouchers, I am buying more SPS because that is my investment, right? Like I do believe in SPS long term, but also I believe in whatever utility they may drive to SPS in the long run. And then I'm also taking some of that voucher, capital and buying more cards to level up my deck. And I'm doing that on a slow and steady pace. And that's fine with me. And that's why I don't mind Chaos Legion selling slowly. I don't mind there being, certain types of delays, because to a certain extent, it still feels like our little secret. You know what I mean? And what I don't want to see right away, which I know is counterintuitive for many other players, what I don't want to see is card prices rising to unaffordable heights. Not even because I care about other players and new people coming in. This is completely selfish. I want to play at the highest leagues and levels of this game, and I don't want those prices to be out of reach for me the way that they were when I first came in, because they were, and I was still interested, right? But now I'm at a point where I'm putting in money slowly and steadily, or like I said, rediversifying around and building up my deck. But this is not like, ooh, let me ape into SPS right now because I think that it's going to do a 10x in the next couple of months or years or whatever the case is. Sure, in a long enough time frame, I do believe very strongly in SPS. So I'm not trying to say that none of this is getting it financial advice. And that's my point, right? It's difficult to talk about where things will actually go, because all the utility in the world could be applied to SPS right now, and it's still so subject to macroeconomic factors. There's global conflict. There's crazy things in the economy like inflation, Bitcoin, crypto. I mean, even general, equities markets are down right now. So they could apply all these things, and if it's not enough, can't forget about the airdrop, right? Like, they could apply all these different things, and if it's not enough to counteract that downward pressure, then we just kind of sit sideways, or maybe we bump up another 20%, 30%, which, yes, is significant. I'm not saying that it's not, but for where we're at right now, being down almost 90% from the all-time high, where a lot of people, I'm sure, bought in, right, close to $1, that doesn't mean much to jump up 30% from here and go from 13 cents to 16 or 17 cents. It's just, sure, it's exciting if you bought in at the bottom, but if you didn't, then it doesn't really matter. So that's what I'm getting at. Like, I'm enjoying this for the game that it is, and I think many other players who have stuck around, many other people in the community who have stuck around, are starting to feel the same way. And like I said, I've had those conversations. It's all anecdotal, but it gets me excited about where things are headed in the future, and allows me to have a little bit more patience with all the different delays that are happening, and just the timeline and roadmap that they have going on. So I know that the team is working hard. This is not meant to be critical of them and their efforts, but just trying to be real about where the player perspective has been and the player experience has been over the past couple of months. And at the end of the day, I think it's a good thing that maybe we've had this time to wash a lot of the pump and dump investor mentality out of the system. So again, I'm not judging pump and dump mentality. Like, again, I believe in free markets, so treat it how you will. But for the long-term health and sustainability of the game, and for the long-term, hopefully, interests of the players within the game, washing that out for right now is good. The next time it happens, awesome. I might be one of the first people who starts like selling a bunch of cards, because I'm just like, I recognize this. I recognize this pump right now. I recognize this euphoria. I'm going to let go of a couple of assets because, one, I was here when these assets were going for pennies, and now they're going for dollars, right? So, I'm going to cash out a little bit because I was here during the rough times, and from now putting my investor hat on, it's just going to be like, yeah, like let me take a little bit out. So that's all I have in this video for you today. Like I said, I just want to share the general sentiment that I've been seeing across, across the different platforms for me and how I interact with this game and the community. So, hopefully that makes sense for you, but I'm curious to know, what is your perspective? What has been your experience over the past couple of months? Are you seeing similar things to what I'm saying? Are you seeing the exact opposite from what I'm saying? Let me know. I will catch you all in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Take care.